ridge along Folding Mountain, if you ever get a chance to just go along that ridge and run that ridge, it is beautiful.
It's beautiful. The best way I could describe it for people listening here, if you've ever seen pictures of the Scottish Highlands, imagine what that's like. It gives me that same feeling. It's gorgeous.
I just got chills thinking about it.
Welcome to the Wilderness Wavelength Podcast.
We are here live at Folding Mountain Brewery tonight. Welcome to the show, folks. I'm George. Scott Sonderbold back.
I'm back. I've been away. Feels like way too long, but this is fantastic. We got some beers in front of us. We got Jason Griffiths here. We're going to talk the Death Race. It's going to be a great evening.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you want to go with the intro for Jason?
Well, I've known Jason for a while. We've been on committees together. I know his family. They contribute a lot to the community. They do a lot of great volunteer work. And Jason and I have had a passion for beer for many years, so we're going to dive into that. And he's a great outdoorsman, loves to get out running on trails. So
yeah. You just got back from the Death Race too this summer?
Yeah, I did. Well, it seems ages ago, but it was only a month.
Yeah.
A month now. Although my toenails, they remember the Death Race very, very, very well.
Not your first Death Race experience then?
No, it's my second. Last year I did the near death.
Okay.
So the Death Race has 2 runs. They have I shouldn't say that. They have 3 because they also have a relay. But they have the near death, which is 42 kilometers. So you do leg 1 and 2, which is an amazing run. I know we'll get into it eventually on how we talk about, getting into ultra marathons and running and all that. What a good intro. I mean, it's something that's in our backyard. It's an hour and a half away. I get up in the morning on Saturday and drive to the Death Race, do the run, and then come back because we're so close.
Yeah.
And so I got into the near death last year, 42K. It was unbelievable. It was just, it was one of those things, not that I wasn't hooked before, but being involved in a run like that and the community and the people around you and just how it all feels. So you get hooked, and then you get home and you're like, you know what, maybe I could do the full Death Race. And you hum and haw for a couple months, and then came October, and that's when I finally said, you know what, I'm going to do this. And I believe sign up was in November, and I signed up the first day because I knew that I had to sign up. Because it's more me. I'm very true to commitments. So once I knew that my name was on there, then I knew I was going to train. I was going to do whatever it would take to get
committed.
It done. Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
We are tasting some beers here too at Folding Mountain. I want to get into that Folding Mountain story here too tonight, because our go-to spot in Hinton, one of the reasons we moved out here, really.
It's one of the gems here for sure. Yeah, it's been such a local success story. So maybe you could tell us the Coles Notes, the quick version of what was the brainchild behind Folding Mountain. How did it start, and how did you get this far?
Yeah, it's funny. Anybody who knows me knows that when I obsess about something or want to get something done, I usually move pretty quick. So so the quick notes would be February of 2016. I approached my really good friend, high school friend, Eric Johnson, who's now my business partner and basically the general manager and runs this whole place. I approached him and I said, hey, do you want to start a brewery out at Folding Mountain? We were lucky enough that my family owns the land, so they own Jasper East Cabins and the Overlander. So we'd always talked about maybe having that. Let me just back up. The cabins opened a year before in 2016.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So one thing that we knew was there was going to be a need for is some type of place to eat and hang out. So I asked Eric and I said, hey, do you want to open up a brewery? That was in February. We had plans drawn up. I went and saw Garth, who's my dad, and had the property. And I said, here's the plans. And he said, okay, what do you think? Sorry, let me back up again. Eric and I did a business plan. We didn't just throw something out. We made sure that we had all our ducks in a row and what it was all going to cost and where we thought. And, the craft beer industry at the time was booming.
Yeah.
It was pretty exciting. Eric was in a position in his life where he was looking to make a move as well. So we had the plans drawn up in February. We broke ground in September of 2017. And we opened in, we broke ground in 2016, and then we opened up in July of 17. So it took us less than, about 7 months, 8 months to have this place up and running. And I remember opening the door, and we weren't sure what was going to happen. And it was my wife, it was myself, it was Eric, Carrie, who's our general manager, who's been with us since day one, Dave Moselle, who's been brewing with us since day one.
Yeah.
And I remember opening the door and we're like, well, let's just do a soft opening. You know what, we're good. Let's just see what happens here.
Yeah.
And we open it up. And honestly, we have never looked back. That day, we were so busy.
Is that right?
Oh, it was just perfect. Everybody came out. We really didn't say anything. We're like, oh yeah, let's just see if we can have some people over. Marcel Randall, who's in town as well, was our chef at the time. And yeah, you know, when I go back and I think, okay, we just celebrated our 8-year anniversary. And I think about the people who have been part of the brewery and who have come, especially our team. It just, when I think about it, it really just, it really hits home about how much support we've had from not only the local community, people from abroad, but also our team. I mean, in the summer now, we're up to 40 to 50 employees.
Yeah.
And that first day that we opened, we had 6.
Yeah.
Well, the
That's
customer
amazing.
service has always been good here. I've never had bad customer service. So whatever you guys are doing to coach them is great. Now, I got a question. Travel back in time. Do you remember the Happy Creek homebrewers? And I think you came over and brought us some of this very unique monk beer that was totally selling off the shelves. So the rest of us had brewed our own stuff, and Jason walks through the door with this really high-end beer brewed in the monastery. And I remember that night, this goes way back, this story could be like 15 plus years ago. You were saying that you had this dream to open a brewery. We're like, yeah, go for it, man. So it's cool that it came to fruition.
Yeah.
I honestly didn't know that was your name, that you guys had the Happy Creek Homebrewers.
Do you know where the Happy Creek name came from?
I do. It used to be a distillery.
It used to be moonshiners on the Happy Creek, which we
it's
thought
right
was
by the dealership.
we thought what a fantastic name. So we stuck with the Happy Creek Homebrewers, and it's been a while since we've gotten together, but
I do remember that with you and Tim.
Yeah.
And I believe it was a West Veteran. I'm sure it was a West Veteran that I had bought.
It was good, whatever it was, and there may have been some cigars that night too. But hey, let's get back to the death race here. When you ran, so you did the 125K one?
Yeah, it's actually 118K.
Wow, that's crazy.
And 17,000 feet of elevation.
That's nuts. Over 3 mountain ranges, right?
Yeah.
And,
Flood, Grand, and Hamel.
How many hours did that take you?
It took me 20 hours and 40 minutes.
Wow.
42 minutes.
You're running quite a bit of that in the dark with headlamps then?
Yeah. So it was okay. So that was probably one of the biggest. I wouldn't call it a fear, but one of the biggest challenges I knew I was going to have to overcome was going to be running in the dark and by yourself, because by that time everything's spread out. So when I started the run, when I started training, I have a good friend out of Kelowna. His name is Sammy Chikawi. And I asked him, whenever we go to Kelowna, I had to go run with him. And I said, hey, why don't you start why don't you do the death race with me? And he's like, sure, let's do it. So he started training, and we were running. Basically, we both left at the same time off the starting line. And we're about 2-3 kilometers in. And we kind of just started running together, and you wouldn't typically do that because everybody has their own pace and their own stride. And then all of a sudden we just kind of were together the whole time of the run. So each transition area, each checkpoint, each aid station, we were together. So the biggest part was running at night, and that leg 5, I'll tell you what, that was the hardest leg. It's 16 kilometers and it took us 3 hours. You're single track, and you're 7 kilometers before you get to the boat that you have to cross. You have to give the coin to the Grim
ferryman,
Reaper.
the Grim Reaper.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
great.
Yeah, no, the ferryman. And you know what? Having somebody like Sammy by my side the whole time was the game changer. So now you're not just running by yourself at night. You're following somebody, or they're following you.
Yeah.
You're talking. You're moving around, you're doing stuff, you're stopping at the same time, you're refueling, you're like, how are you doing? And just having that person next to you, I guarantee the reason why I finished in 20 hours and 40 minutes, it probably would have taken an extra half hour, 45 minutes had he not been there, just having that person with you. It was the first long run that I've ever done without and some kind of buds in my ear. So for 20 hours, I never listened to anything. We just chatted the whole time.
Yeah.
It was amazing. It was great.
What are you normally listening to when you're on your own then?
I'm a very podcast guy.
Yeah. What's your
Wilderness Weekly podcast?
What's your go-to podcast? Are you listening to like who's David Goggins?
No, I haven't been listening to him. Honestly, when I started running, when I knew I was going to do the death race in October.
Yeah.
Same thing when we open up the brewery. Like when I do something, I obsess about it.
Yeah, you're
so
full
when
in.
I was like, okay, well, I'm going to run 120K. So I jump in, I get all in. So I obsess. And there's a podcast, and it's Joe Corcione, and he's out of Arizona, and it's called the Everyday Ultra.
Yeah.
And I would listen to that, and he ran the Cocodona, he ran the Arizona Monster 300, he ran the Tahoe. So a lot of his podcast recaps were like 6 hours, 7 hours.
Okay.
So I would sit there. So I listened to a lot of ultra running podcasts. Yeah. So that was probably my go-to for running, because not only do you learn about the sport, you learn about new technology, new gel, everything. There's also that, it's very motivational.
Yeah.
So, he's talking about his athletes that he coaches and, some of the challenges that they've overcome.
Yeah.
And you're running, and, he's like, the biggest thing you need to do whenever you're running these long marathons is like, be strong, smile, like just stay positive. You're out here having fun.
Yeah.
And, you do. It's a long time you're out there. So, if you're
miserable the whole time, that's a long 20 hours.
Well, not only that, and so what I did at the the last month and a half. So for the most part, I'd always run with somebody. So especially our long runs on Saturdays, I had Christian Brewery, I had Dave Hay, I had Jeff McLeod, Phil Tuckwell. Like I think of all these people that I've ran with over the past year and a half for our long runs. But the last month, 2 months, I would just go out on my own. So I'd be 6 hours, and you're just by yourself.
Yeah.
And you have to do that. And not only is it good for, just learning to be by yourself for that long, but just to get that headspace and just, you appreciate everything around you. And I'm running around here. I'm running these trails. We are so blessed to have this in our area.
There's just no end to it, right?
There's absolutely no end to it. You could pick a new trail every day. Yeah. So very, very fortunate.
So I was going to ask you about the motivation. Psychologically, physically, obviously it's demanding on both of those fronts. Do you find that you battle more the physical or the psychological, or does it flip back and forth? You're doing 100K, 125, that's got to be taking up all your mental power, your reserves, all of that.
Yeah, it's funny. A lot of people say for an ultra marathon, it's 50% physical. The first half is 50% physical.
Yeah.
The first half is physical, second half is mental. And that's totally true. I mean, once you train, so for instance, since the start of the new year, I've ran 2,400 kilometers, and I've done about 40,000 meters of elevation.
2,400 kilometers.
Yeah. So when you go to run an ultra marathon, you're there.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you have the physical capabilities. So the first 3 kilometers into the death race, and I don't want to sound arrogant or anything like that, but the first 3 kilometers into to the death race, I'm like, I got this. I know I can do this. I felt great. It was an amazing day. It was 15 above. It was partly cloudy, a little bit of rain. I mean, the conditions couldn't have been better.
Yeah.
And everything felt great. I had a 2-week taper. Everything was good. I slept good the night before. I drove up early. I knew I had a really good crew beside me. I knew I had everything was just perfect conditions. And then you hit, once you get to the top of Hamel, and that's where you get that coin that takes you down, and then you can go and cross the fair. Once you get that coin, you're there. You could basically walk the rest of the way or power hike the rest of the way and still finish. But I'll tell you what, you get into leg 5, and it's, I think it was 1 in the morning, might have been midnight, 1 in the morning. And you're like, I only have 18 kilometers left. And that 7 kilometers on that single track, and it's in the dark. It was brutal. And then you get to the boat, you cross the boat, and the first thing you do is a kilometer hike, climb, and it's hard. I mean, you're not running that at all. And then you run into Grande Cache, and it all makes it worthwhile.
Yeah.
So, but I'll never forget. I Lake 3. So at the checkpoint before going into, was it Lake 4 or was it into Lake 5? I think it was Lake 4. And it was after Lake 3. So I changed my shoes out. It was the first time I changed my shoes out, and I took my socks off. And one of my crew, her name is Jacqueline. I remember she put her hands around her mouth, and I looked at her face, and all her eyes widened, and she's like, "Oh no!" And I'm like, "What? What's wrong with my feet?" And then I failed clean them all off and put my socks on. I'm like, "Okay, well, these shoes aren't coming off until I'm done." So,
were you losing your toenails, or what was going on?
I wasn't losing my toenails at the end, but I think it was just. Have you ever heard of trench foot? I'm sure you have. Yes. So I think that's kind of what happened. So it was just underneath. And the funniest thing, I ran 60, 70K before, never had issues with blisters, never had issues with toenails, but I think it was just, so much just pounding on the feet. And honestly, I think it was coming down, I think it was probably coming down flood on power line when everything was a little bit wet, just the friction.
Toe mashing.
Yeah.
So runners often talk about hitting the wall, and I haven't run seriously since I was a teenager, so it's been a long time. But you kind of feel like you're up against that brick wall, and then you push through. Do you experience that on a regular?
No, I wouldn't say on the regular. But it's definitely there. You hit a wall or pain cave. Corny DeWalter always coined that term. I think the biggest thing with any of your runs, you'll hit it regardless. I've always been a big time on feet guy, so I never run for kilometers. I always run for time. So if I'm going to run, so say this upcoming Saturday I have a 4-hour long run, so I'm just going to run for 4 hours. I don't care if I hit 30 kilometers or if I hit 45 kilometers. So if you do your time on feet and it's all in your brain, it's just how long you're going to run for. That seems to help a lot more, because you might feel like garbage on a Saturday morning and you don't feel like running. But if you set that time base, it's different. Yeah. So if I set my pace a little bit slower just to get into it and start looking around, and then I'm not rushing and trying to do everything, try to hit a 40K run. So I mean that helps a lot.
Are you training for something right now then, or is it just always running?
No, I actually am training for something. The Javelina 100 kilometer in Arizona is in October 25th. Yeah, so
100K.
Yeah, so actually I should also mention I'm pacing my good friend Phil down in Crow's Nest Pass next weekend, and he's doing the 200 miler, the Divide 200 miler. So I get a leg with him, so I'll be pacing him for that.
Terrible.
That's like 3-4 days.
Holy moly!
Yeah. If there's one guy though that can do it, it's
so
him.
you just sleeping a couple hours in between, or are you doing a full night's rest? Or
no, he has his sleep set aside. I don't think he'll. It's funny. I was talking to him today because he has a 3-hour sleep before I start pacing him. Like, there is no way he's going to sleep 3 hours. Yeah. I bet you he's asleep for 15 minutes.
Jeez.
But a lot of the elites, they'll for a 200 miler or 300 milers. I think is a little bit different, but a 200 miler, some of them won't sleep. They'll sleep for 20 minutes total the whole time.
Man.
So like high caffeine, or they'll do dirt naps, and then you take caffeine right before a dirt nap because it takes about 10 minutes for a caffeine to actually come into effect.
Okay.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens with Phil. He's super dedicated, and he's a great athlete. If there's anybody that can do it, it's him. So I'm looking forward to doing that. But the Javelina 100 is in Arizona. That's 100 kilometers around the McDowell mountains. But as you know, in Arizona, there's not a lot of mountains, so it's a little bit more flat. I believe there's 3,000 feet total elevation.
Okay.
In 100 kilometers. So if you think of the Death Race, that was 15,000 feet.
Yeah.
In 120K. So it's more of it'll be cruisy. It'll be more fast paced.
Yeah.
I won't use a vest or poles for that. I'll just try and run as fast as I can. Actually.
Yeah. now everybody's curious about the challenges and the drama, so we've got to dive into that tonight. The bears, mountain lions, mosquitoes, weather, lightning, knees, toenails mashed, sprained ankles. I mean, what have you encountered? Give us some of the worst things you've been through.
All of the above.
All of the above.
Yeah, before we even turned on the mics, you were talking, was it this weekend you were up on top of Folding here and there was...
Yeah, we hit a big lightning storm. So, so we can talk about that. So lightning storm this weekend. So we were up doing some recon for Another project we're launching, but we can get to that in a bit.
Oh, yeah.
So there was 4 of us, including myself. And I remember we were driving out to Folding from Hinton. And I could see the lightning across Folding and more like Brewery and Maya, and you could see it. And I'm like, oh, that's weird. They never called for lightning, but it's Hinton, right? We all know that the weather can change in a flick of a switch. So we start climbing, you can see lightning, and we get 3 kilometers up, and we're doing some photography and some shots, and it was amazing. And it was beautiful. Like the sunrise, you could see the sun rising on Brewery. And you can see sunrise in Brewery, and then behind us, kind of more towards Hinton and Cadomin, like the backdrop, it was kind of cloudy and like lightning a little bit. Anyway, so we get to 3K, which is the hardest 3K of all of Folding Mountain. And I'm like, okay, well, let's just keep going. And we're running along the trail, and you get out into kind of a clearing. And the lightning and thunder, all we could see was a flash, and the noise was the thunder was so loud. It was right there. You could smell it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, guys,
ozone,
everybody off the mountain. So we turn around, and we're running back down the mountain. And it's hitting us right there. Like you'd swear it was right in front of you. And we're throwing our poles down, which I have no idea why, because they're aluminum. It's not like they're going to connect to anything like that.
Yeah.
But Karen, who is one of the photographers from Fleeing Reality from Hinton, she has her camera with her, and it's an expensive camera. And so she's a little concerned about anything electrical with that as well. So we went down 2 kilometers, and then it finally kind of started to clear, and the lightning and thunder was going away. And then my partner Sammy, he's like, "Okay, we're going back up." I'm like, "Why not?" So we hiked up 4 kilometers, went down 2, and then went back up and kept shooting. So that's my lightning story. Yeah. But yeah, we've cougars, had a couple cougar scares just out by my place, out by just on an acreage west of town.
Okay.
So I was just running along the ditch along Highway 40, and I'm running, and then I have a turnaround point. I turn around, and a cougar runs right out in front of me and runs right across the path.
Really?
And I'm like, oh, geez. And it takes you by surprise. And then I look down to my right, and there's a dead deer carcass. So I ran past that cougar eating the dead deer carcass.
Yeah. Wow.
So that scared me. So then I kind of backed up a little bit. And then the cougar ran across by where we live as well. So cougars are, a little bit scary. Bears.
Well, just wait. Was that cat focused on you? Like, did it sort of pretend to ignore you? Because
it did pretend to ignore me. It just ran across and took off.
Because their senses are so great. They obviously know you're there. Probably knew you were coming a mile away. And you're not running with bear spray, I take it, hey?
No, and no bear spray, no knife, and I probably should have both. But I've done that run so many times.
Yeah.
I mean, I could,
It's tough to run with bear spray, isn't it? Just bouncing around on you the whole time? Or
yeah, I'll wear a vest. Depending on, again, I'm in the ditch. I'm on Highway 40. It's pretty open. I didn't expect to see a cougar there. And even if I see a bear, usually they'll just run away or you can scare them. So I didn't really expect that. If I do any long runs and I'm in the mountains, then I bring bear spray with me.
You think Jason could outrun a cougar?
He's probably pretty close. He's too sinewy. They don't want to eat him. There's no fat there. But yeah, you run into grizz. Like, my biggest concern with wildlife is always mama grizz taking her by surprise. And I've had some close calls in my life, but especially for runners and for mountain bikers, you're actually at a higher risk than the rest of us who are kind of ambling, slowly moving through the bush, right?
Because it's looking more like food?
Well, and you're coming fast. Like, bears hate to be surprised.
Yeah. Shock.
Yeah.
Well, luckily, I have not run into any grizzly bears. I usually, if I'm doing some long runs, I'll try and do it with friends. I'll be the first to admit I'm a chicken. Like, I'm not going out into the bush by myself. Not too far anyways. As far as black bears go, I ran into a couple where they just scurry away and take off. Our little brown bear, they run away. I don't know, did you hear about the death race? And do you know Dave Hay?
I heard about this, and I wasn't sure if they're trying to keep it under wraps or something, because it was like such low talk about it.
I think so. So must have been, so Dave was a little bit behind us on death race, and this is leg 4. This is late 4, so this is the big.
This is from this
handle.
year.
This is just this just happened, and I didn't hear about this until after. And if anybody knows Dave, he's very just like, oh yeah, I ran into a bear, no big deal.
Yeah.
And if there's probably, well, besides you guys, if there's another guy you run into a bear with, it's probably Dave, because he'll know exactly what to do. So he was with a group of people. And a grizzly came right out in front of him, and it charged him enough that he hit it with his hiking pole.
Yeah.
He
Holy
smoked
smokes.
it, and it ran back into the bush and took off. And then the group he was with had bear spray, and I guess they used the bear spray as well.
Yeah.
So that's my. Fortunately, I don't have any grizzly encounters, and Dave is the first that I've heard of something like happening really bad. But it's pretty good. When you're listening to, if you're listening to anything, you make sure you only have one AirPod in or one earbud in, and bear spray. I'll bring a knife. You never know, just in case, because I think that's the only thing that's going to help me if a cougar ever does it. The bear spray's not going to help, but maybe a knife would.
But some of the other stuff like injured knees, ankles, toes. How's your body hold up to this?
Yeah, so it's a little beat up. I'm not going to lie, but there's lots involved with that. I mean, I'm not as young as I used to be, and putting on that kind of mileage every week, it adds up.
How long have you been doing this for then?
The training for the death race was in October.
Yeah,
is when I started. But ultra running and running. Yeah. I can't remember. Well, running, it's been a long time.
Okay.
Ultra running, though, more recently, about 2 years, like actually putting on mileage.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, you do. Your knees start to get sore, but you look after it. I mean, it's like anything. You just take that. You rest and you make sure. The biggest thing that a lot of people don't know when they start running, if they want to definitely get into ultra running, is strength conditioning. They think, well, I'm just gonna be a runner. And it's like, no, you have to build up that strength. If you have weak knees, chances are it's just the muscles around it that aren't strong.
So you're doing squats and that sort of
Everything,
stuff.
Yeah. Anything you can do to help build up that strength. A strong core is huge, especially after 120K. I mean, I remember you see people going up the hills and, their back is a little bit tweaked out, and because you're carrying a pack full of food and water and gear and all that. Yeah. So, I mean, if you have a nice, strong core, you can hold that self up. So that's a big thing.
So what's recovery like? You do the death race, 120K. The next day or two, are you just like in bed or in a wheelchair? Like what's that like?
It's honestly, it's too bad that my feet did take the brunt of it, because I felt the next day like I could go run another 100K.
Wow.
I felt great.
Wow.
Yeah, but that was just because of the training and the conditioning. Whether I could have done that, I don't know. Maybe it was more in my head that I felt good, but my feet were really sore. Again, just the blisters more than anything. But a normal recovery, you probably want 2 weeks, and then you can start going back. You want to do the recovery runs. You really want to. One mistake I made, because this is the longest run I'd ever done. A big mistake I made was not properly hydrating and nutrition. I should have been feeding myself way more protein, some carbs. Like I didn't pay attention.
A lot of electrolytes, Gatorade. You're pumping yourself full of that
stuff. Yeah. So I had a huge electrolyte imbalance.
Mount Solomon hazy.
Yeah, unfortunately,
a big keg of beer on your back.
That was the road I took the next day, which I probably shouldn't have. So I had a huge electrolyte imbalance, and the migraines just kicked in. And I'm not a big migraine guy, not a big headache guy. I feel like I usually don't have any issues with injury or anything like that, but it was really hard. But there's a lot to it, because not only are you physically drained, but you're also mentally drained.
Oh yeah.
So I started in October, and I went on this journey until August 2nd, and the build-up and the nutrition, I think of my family and my wife, how we go on holidays. I'm like, I have to get my 2-hour run in. And bless her heart, she was ultra supportive. She's like, make sure you get your run in. She was really, really good. So, and we don't have children, so I mean, there's a little bit of I had that. I don't want to call it a luxury, but my family responsibilities, a little more free time. Yeah. My family is my work.
Sure. Yeah.
So, my biggest obstacles was making sure that I was still available for, all our businesses and stuff we have to do there. So, it was. So the recovery after that 2 weeks, and then I'm like, okay, well, I got to get going, because I have Javelina 100 in 2 months, and I have the Divide 200 in 3 weeks. And I've been fighting kind of a quad tear, which I'm dealing with right now. And I just want to make sure that I'm fully there for Phil, who's going to be running this bike, because he's going to depend on me to make sure that I'm there to support him. And then when I go down to Arizona, and it's not a cheap sport. I mean, it's not just a pair of shoes. I mean, there's a lot of investment in it. So I want to make sure that I do everything I can as best as I can.
Sure.
So,
have you ever hallucinated?
No, I have not. No.
Really?
No, I have not.
Good for you.
I haven't had that. I don't.
Is that a thing?
Yeah, I hear it can be quite common with ultra marathons and
just
certainly
lack of sleep.
Like I've hallucinated in severe hypothermia. Or people lack of sleep too. Like I had friends who drove all the way to California nonstop, and they said one time the guy was driving in the night, he sees a little girl dancing in front of him on the road. He knew it was time to pull over, but
it's a lack of sleep for sure. Yeah. So you do. So again, in all the podcasts I ever listen to, and it is honestly, it's dependent on the person. So somebody who runs 300 miles may never hallucinate, and they might, or 200 miles, and sit on 20 minutes of sleep. They might be fine. But then there's other people who are like, oh, I was hallucinating the whole way.
Yeah.
the whole way.
Yeah. So I never have. I don't. You know what? Honestly, I don't think I ever would. Like I don't think that's kind of in me. Like I can kind of concentrate. I think I could make it through without having to worry about that. And if I did hallucinate, I'd probably have to.
Hopefully, it's a good one.
I'd probably have to because I wouldn't know what to do.
So, is your inner voice a drill sergeant, or are you like the cheerleader? Like, what's the self-talk, or do you bounce back and forth between "pull yourself together, man," or "you can do this," or "hey, we're having fun"? Like, what are you telling yourself?
Yeah, I think the "hey, we're having fun" is probably more my style. Like, I mean, you know me well enough. That's kind of more my style. It's like, hey, we're just happy to be here. We're lucky to be here. We're lucky that I have these 2 feet that are going to carry me on this journey.
Yeah.
During my training this winter, so we're in the process of moving. So there's a 3-month time frame where we are living actually out of the Overlander. And usually in the winter when it's really bad, I have a treadmill. Like if it's minus 20, minus 30, I'll just hop on a treadmill. Yeah. It's convenient. So living at the Overlander, I didn't have that convenience. So it would be minus 20 and it's 5 o'clock in the morning and I'm running up and down the highway with the semis, cars like shooting up snow at me. I'll tell you what though, some of the most beautiful mornings, the highway's pretty quiet. And I'd run down to the park gates and to Fiddle River, and the full moon shining on it, just epic.
Yeah.
But there was a couple times during the death race that you're like, okay, this is really hard. You're trying to push through, and you know what? It's not minus 20, and I'm not on a highway, and it's not snowing. So that's what helped me get through a lot of that. Is just you find those bad days. You find those bad days, and you remind yourself that it's not that bad. Not only, and I don't want to harp, but I had a really good friend alongside with me with Sammy, so we chatted the whole time. My crew was absolutely amazing. So every 2, 3, 4 hours, you get to see these. I got to see my wife. I get to see my really good friends.
So it's a bit of a team. It's a bit of a team sport. Hey, you got that support to get you through.
Well, not only that, when you're running for that long, especially the last two legs, you start meeting other people because everybody's kind of running the same pace and you're kind of going back and forth. So you get to meet all kinds of people. You get to hear their story. You get to hear where they're from, and that's there's something to be said about that. You're not running just by yourself. You're running with a group. And the one thing about an ultra marathon and the community, I wouldn't even call it the ultra marathon. It's probably most running communities. It's so supportive. It's when you're running along, and I remember going up Flood in Slugfest, going up to the cut line, and this poor girl, she was crying and she was having a really tough time, and there was a group of people around her, and everybody's like, "What do you need? What can I get for you?" And they helped. They gave her some salt pills, and then I saw her the next leg, and she was fine. So that kind of. It's such a good community.
Yeah. I've got to ask you about the toilet strategy because everybody's curious about that. You're going 125 or 120K, no porta potties. your stomach's acting up. Well, like what's that like? You just jump in the bush, or?
Well, luckily I didn't have to experience any of that, but yes, that's basically what happens.
Yeah.
You jump in the bush. I mean, everybody brings their wipes, their baby wipes if they need it, and they jump into the bush and they go where they got to go. I mean, it just is what it is.
Sure.
So it depends on your GI issues. So when I was training for Death Race, I train that. So I make sure I take in a certain amount of carbohydrates so I'm a 70, 80 grams of carbohydrates every hour. So, but I had to build up to that. I started at 50 and then 60 and 70, and then you find your peak, because if you start getting too much and you're running fast, you're running down a hill, then your stomach just it gurgles, right? So so you train that. But it is what it is. I mean, it's a reality. I think the nice thing about the Death Race is you're surrounded by forest. I'd be more worried if I was in Arizona in the desert and there's no forest.
That just gets a little more crazy.
A little more,
I know of voyageurs who do these big paddles, and you're in a team of 8 in the boat, and
just cut a hole in the bottom.
You hang your butt over the edge, and everybody sees everything. It's just the reality. It is what it is.
And you do see that, but it's not. Again, just that it's like it is what it is. It's like, hey, we're all out here. We're all suffering. We're here to win. We're here to. I don't even call it win a race. We're here to finish.
Yeah.
And sometimes
challenge
duty
yourself.
calls.
You're challenging yourself.
Yeah.
Do we want to get? I want to hear about the ultra marathon that you guys are putting on. Then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's
get at it.
This is like. Give us the breakdown here, because I was scrolling through Instagram last night, and like this new Instagram thing came up. It's like Folding Mountain Ultra Marathon. I'm like, ooh, what's going on here? So, what's the deets?
Yeah, so this is the brainchild between two of my good friends and myself. So I have a really good friend out at Edmonton who I've ran with numerous times, and she's done the Death Race. She's very, very, very involved in the ultra community. Done races throughout the States. Her and her partner are just unbelievable people. And then Sammy, who I ran the Death Race with out of Kelowna, he's actually a Hinton born and raised. I run with him when we're in Kelowna all the time. And both of them have always said to me, like, when are we doing a run out of Folding? When are we going to do a run out of Folding? So I said, okay, fine. Let's get the three of us together and let's just hash this out and see what it looks like. Next thing you know, we got a brand, we got everything ready to go. We're working with the Alberta government right now to make sure that the course is going to be accepted. So
cool.
But basically, quickly, without giving, I can give a little bit of information on it. It's just the course isn't totally done until, again, I meet with who I need to get the permits done. But be leaving it's a 50 kilometers what we're going to start with.
50K.
50K. So very approachable. Anybody who wanted that has, some sense of running, that 2-3 months you could probably do it.
Okay.
We'll also have a 25K. So it's perfect for people who want to dip their toes into the ultra running.
I'm in. I'm going to do it.
Are you?
Look sign on the dotted line.
When I was looking at it last night, I was talking to my wife. I'm like, because I saw on the thing 25, 50. I'm like, I don't run, but I walk. And I do a fair bit of walking with the dog, but I feel like if it's happening next year, I can
100%.
Yeah, I'm in.
Yeah.
You're still in the prime of your life, man. You got this.
How about you?
I will cheer you guys on and give you some bear pointers and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But who's
teach you to make a fire.
I was hoping you guys would live broadcast from the ultra.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah.
Now we're talking.
But yeah, so it's 25K. So the goal is, as of right now, as we leave from Folding, we'd actually head east. We're not going to go up Folding. Biggest worry is bottlenecking, because anybody who's done Folding Mountain, that first part, everybody would just stop. It would be like tight. So we're going to head east. We're going to head down to Terrace Sawmill Road, back up the backside of Cap Ridge, hit the ridge, go down towards that little trapper's cabin at the bottom there. Make it close to Bembos Post Camp, then back around and up the backside of Folding, and then down. So that ridge along Folding Mountain, if you ever get a chance to just go along that ridge and run that ridge, it is beautiful.
It's beautiful. The best way I can describe it for people listening here, if you've ever seen pictures of the Scottish Highlands, imagine what that's like. It gives me that same feeling. It's gorgeous.
I just got chills thinking about it.
Oh, it's
Is there established
stunning.
trails there already? Like
there is.
Yeah.
The only problem is no water up there. Like I went backpacking up there We
have
ran
aid
out of water,
stations,
so we just had
obviously.
to drink straight whiskey. It was not a good night. It was not a good night. We got some would you rathers here.
Well, I still want to figure out this. Can people sign up for this yet, or what's the? Before we move into would you rather?
No, all good. So well, now I'm curious about this would you rather. But, we can't sign up yet.
Yeah.
Probably looking for November.
Okay.
So the reason why we want to launch it was more to save the date. Everybody's excited. UTMB just finished. A lot of the big ultras are finishing up. So we just wanted to make sure we kind of get ahead of the game. So yeah, November we'll be looking at it. Again,
At Folding Mountain Ultra on Instagram. People hop on there, and then there'll be.
Yeah, we'll update
up.
as we can for sure. Yeah, it's going to be exciting. It's going to be a little. We really want to make sure it's done properly. Like anything that I've ever been involved in, I always want to make sure it's done right. So I have a really good crew with me.
Yeah.
I think the support already, even just announcing it on the weekend.
Yeah.
And the people who want to be involved in it. The messages I've been getting is like, when are you guys doing this? Because I want to do that run instead of another run. So it's like,
okay.
Yeah, so it's pretty exciting. And we're hoping to get 300 racers if we possibly can.
Nice.
And then expand it throughout the years to include a 100 kilometer or 160 kilometer. But the 50 kilometer is very, very approachable as far as an ultra run goes.
And you're shooting next summer.
Yeah, we're looking for June.
Okay.
If all things, June is a really good time. I've done Folding Mountain Trail a million times. June is the best time to do that trail.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not as rooty. It hasn't grown over as much. All the snow is gone. The scree portion isn't tracked out.
Yeah.
June is the best month to run folding.
I'm gonna do it.
Yeah,
I think you should.
that's great, man.
I don't know if I could do a 50. Like
You could do it. You've got this, man.
25, I feel like the person that's going to be most excited about is the dog, because he'll be training with me the whole time.
I think you do 50.
Yeah?
Yeah, 100%. And we're going to give you enough time. So I mean, you'll have to push through, but there's going to be a lot of hiking, a lot
I don't know
of
if
power
I
hiking.
got 4 hours of running every Saturday, though. Like, how much training do you need to do for a 50?
For 50, that's a good question. I honestly couldn't tell you exactly because I've only ever trained for like the full 120s.
But you can also walk, right? If nobody's telling you have to
100%.
run the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're going to have likely 10 to 12 hours to finish.
Okay.
Yeah. So our whole goal
Nice.
at the very end is we want everybody to end up here.
Yeah.
And then we want it to continue. So like, although they always say, the one thing about an ultra marathon is that you don't get to celebrate until a week later because that's when you can finally walk and you can actually.
Yeah, exactly.
But our goal is to have everybody back here and make it a big event.
Yeah.
Yeah. So while it's not really tied into Folding Mountain Brewing, it's still part because there's we have a retreat center up over here. We have the hostel.
Yeah.
We have like a whole area that we can kind of, and then having Jasper Gates RV next to us, the KOA, the town of Hinton. So a lot of ultras are they're in smaller towns, which again holds its own and lends something to it. But Hinton has all the services. I mean, you're 15 minutes away. You have Jasper right there. Honestly, it's one of the perfect spots to have an ultra.
I'll show up for the party at the end to drink beer with you.
Yeah. I had my notes
finishing
here.
beer.
Scott and I both trained for the ultra marathon. Not happening though, eh?
I don't know, man. I got my own challenges, but I think I'm past my prime on the running days.
Running? Yeah.
Well, the guys that just won the Western States, he was 48 years old.
That's what they say. They say you get some endurance kicks in later in life, hey?
Yeah. No, there's because it's becoming more of a popular sport. You're starting to see that younger generation. They're training a little bit more and doing better. But I mean, 5, 6, 7 years ago, it was a little bit of an older generation because we've been through a lot, so you can kind of push through and you can get those things out of your mind. Like, I'm here to make this happen.
Yeah.
So,
question: what do you think of the Navy SEALs statement? You've probably heard it. When you think you're done, you're only 40% done. Have you heard that one?
I have heard that, and I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
That fits.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think so. I think
like
that's
it. I've talked myself into that a few times, and things are bad.
Yeah.
It's a good one to remember when you feel like this is it.
Yeah, you think you're at the end.
I'm at the end. It's like, nope, you got 60% in the tank. So
I'll never forget. We were at the top of Hamel, and Sammy, we just both got our coin, and Sammy goes, "If you want to run a mile. If you want to change your life, run a marathon. If you want to meet God, run an ultra. It was the best, and it was actually a Dean Karnazes quote.
Nice.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. And I'm like,
you need a T-shirt with that.
oh yeah, 100%. It was the best thing I heard. And at that point, you're like, okay, let's go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ready for some Would You Rathers now?
Yeah, let's get into it.
Okay, let's get into it.
I do like this new BFF mango too. You guys just released, by the way, too. Tasty.
Yeah, we're definitely going to chat beer here. Let's get the Would You Rathers out of the way, and then let's talk beer, maybe. First one's more technical. I know with scrambling and rock climbing, people prefer to go uphill rather than down. But would you rather run for many miles uphill or run for many miles on a steep downhill?
I'm more of an uphill guy.
You are, eh?
Yeah.
Is that because of the toes and the knees, or what?
That's part of it. I feel like it's more of a grind. I don't know. That's it's kind of a tough question. I don't want to retract what I said, but basically there's a place for both.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's times where you just it's nice just to get, because you're using both muscles. You're using your quads and your hamstrings. You got your knees, you got your calves. So when you're running downhill for 10, 15K and it's hard on your knees, there's nothing better than just turning around and going up a hill and using your quads.
It's the variety that's nice.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
for sure.
So, but I mean, when I look at my toes, they would say uphill for sure.
Yeah. How about you, George?
I like uphill because it feels like there's something more to look forward to. I'm going to get up to the top of the mountain, see a big view and stuff. Like,
Stairway to Heaven.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Going that way.
Nice.
Okay, I got one.
Okay, give it.
You're lost in the wilderness.
Yep.
All you got is a knife and a lighter on you. Would you rather find an empty beer can or an empty beer bottle?
Oh, beer can. For sure. Yeah.
Why?
Well, because you're trying to purify water.
Yeah.
And so you build your fire, let the coals die down, and then you stick that can close, but not so it'll melt. And glass can do it too, but glass is dangerous. You probably all had something break in the microwave or in the stove because of the glass. So the can's more forgiving.
Okay.
For purification, yeah. One of my survival kits is actually a coffee can full of the survival gear, and then you use that can to purify your water. Yeah.
Okay, Jason, ignore Scott's answer. Can or bottle?
I can't. How do I follow up with that?
Yeah, exactly.
No, I really like what Scott said, so we're going to go with Scott's answer.
Me and the wife were debating it yesterday because I was like, well, the bottle, though, because you could, boil water in it maybe or something.
Yeah, you can.
Or
you just have to be a little more careful.
Yeah.
Start slow.
Yeah, I just feel like the can is a little more... you use it once and it's almost done.
It's flimsy.
Yeah. Whereas the bottle, you got a little more life to it.
The cans are getting more paper thin. Yeah. I'm going to think about that.
Okay.
Maybe you're right. Maybe the glass will, but the glass.
Yeah, you break it, you're in trouble.
You're done, right?
Yeah.
Then you got to burn out a log and use hot rocks, which really sucks.
Yeah.
Okay. Now we're getting fun. Would you rather run an ultra marathon with bad diarrhea or run it while losing toenails?
Toenails, 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Toenails are damn painful though, man.
They are, but they grow back and away you go. Yeah, 100%.
Oh man, how about you, George?
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, both sound terrible. I know. Yeah, I'm gonna go toenails as well.
Really?
You got a toenail story we're gonna dig into on a future episode.
Yeah, we'll do it on another one, but I just had my toenail ripped off with a pair of pliers, and it was mafia torture. I don't know. I think I might go with the diarrhea.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
As long as you got some Imodium or something to stop it. Or
the biggest thing is when you're running and all of a sudden your stomach gets upset.
Yeah.
It's ultra. It's not only is it painful. It's what's the right word? It's just very. You just don't know where you're at.
Yeah.
You just don't. Yeah, it's very distracting. So then that's all you can kind of concentrate on. So I mean, you could fall, you could hurt yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't. Hey, losing toenails is very, very painful. But once they're gone, they're gone. Yeah. And you're good. I'm like, okay, let's move on.
Yeah, I'm still in the healing stage.
Cover her face, like, oh my god.
You got another? Would you rather?
I got. Okay. So you're trying out a new brewery. This one's kind of based on the brewery here. But trying out a new brewery. Are you going for a flight normally or a pint of something that sounds good. Like you try out a different brewery. What are you going with? You show up there.
A new brewery?
Yeah.
No, you know what? I used to be the flight guy, but I'm the pint guy.
Yeah.
Now, with that being said, I might have like 3 or 4 pints.
Right,
So it's kind of a sample size.
Yeah, exactly.
You're just sampling 4 pints.
Yeah, so I guess we'll go with the sample. Just they're a little bigger than that. But if anybody ever is going to a brewery and trying one for their first time, I would 100% recommend doing a flight if it's available. 100%. Yeah. I just don't. To me, I get a better representation of a beer by having more than 4 ounces. That's just me, though.
I agree. Yeah. Scott?
You know, I've sampled so many beers in my life that I'm rarely surprised by a flight. I almost know what it's going to be. But if there's something really unique, like we talked, Jason here, you guys did that juniper beer, and I'm a man, brown ales, nut browns, junipers, anything like that. I love that stuff. So then I've got it tested. But if it's an IPA or a lager or a porter, it's like I pretty not much know what that's going to taste like. And then it's more, you know what? I feel like I'm having a lager today or a porter. And like you said, Jason, I want the full pint and dive into it, right?
Yeah, no, I think you're right. Like something that's a little bit different. You can get a million IPAs. You get a million hazy IPAs. So, I mean, after a while, if you want to try something that's like, stands out on a menu, you're like, oh, I haven't had that in a while. Like the Blind Man that I was drinking, the Belgian IPA, we haven't made one of those in a long time. So it's kind of nice to try something different like that because it's a different style and it's delicious.
You got a favorite brewery besides Folding Mountain?
No, I wouldn't. No, I think every brewery is very strong in whatever they do. Yeah, and I admire the
adversity they've had. Answer right there. They're all great. Yeah,
don't give the competition any edge. They all suck.
Okay. If I'm going to go to the beer store right now, I've been by 88 is a really good brewery.
Good. They got a cool little spot in Calgary too. Like their whole tap room's sweet.
I'll always support Apex because Andrew Klinich, Apex they used to be out at Edson. Really good friend of mine, so I'll always support them. And their White Raven is one of the best IPAs you can have. So those are probably my go-to. Snake Lake, and then if There's a lot of really good Alberta breweries that I'll support as much as possible. If I'm going to go to BC, then I really like Driftwood because Fat Tug is one of my OG IPAs from way back in the day. I've always liked them. Jasper and that whole group, they've always put out consistently good beers. So at the end of the day, it's kind of more like, what do I feel? And, I want to make sure I support people that support us too.
Right.
And the brewing industry is such a, it reminds me of the ultra running community. Everybody's very supportive. What do you need? Can I help you?
Yeah.
You're out of this, you're out of that. Can we, can I lend a hand? So we're really fortunate that way.
Yeah. I got one more. Would you rather?
Do it.
Well, first of all, I ran into a hornet nest on the weekend getting a bow stave out of the bush, so it's fresh in my mind. Man, I got stung bad. It was like a hot poker to the head and the body. So would you rather, you're on an ultra marathon, would you rather choose running into a large hornet nest or running face to face into a mountain lion? Now, you've had the mountain lion experience, so what do you pick?
Last year we actually we ran into the hornet's nest.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, so there was this swamp. There's a swampy area on Lake 2. And I was able to get past it, but my friend Jeff, he got smoked in the leg he got smoked by a hornet. Can I choose neither? I don't want to run into any of that. Probably the hornet's nest at the end of the day. Yeah, because the cougar or mountain lion, who knows what they're going to do.
Could mess you up good.
Yeah. The hornet's not going to kill me.
There's a certain level it could though.
Yeah.
I've ended up in a merge. I'm not allergic, and I got swarmed so bad once I was in a merge. But
really?
Generally, it will, like if you get stung 200 times, it could kill you. Right?
Jeez, wow.
How about you, George?
I'm allergic.
Oh, there you go.
I was stung when I was 16, and they said next time I get stung, I got 15 minutes to get like an EpiPen in. But I've been stung recently, and nothing's happened. So, but I feel like a cougar, I could. Yeah, I'm going cougar.
Yeah.
I don't. It might be giving me more motivation to run even. The hornets. I'm just sore the whole time. I'm going cougar. You're not. What are you going with?
I'm doing the mountain lion.
Yeah.
not that I feel I can take one because I can't, but I've eaten them.
Yeah, they know.
And they're generally scaredy cats, but not always, right? And getting stung, swarmed is really bad.
Yeah.
It sucks.
Yeah.
See, I feel like you've had both experiences.
I've had both experiences.
So you're able to, you're allowed to give like a very valid response.
Exactly. But hey, let's talk beer now that George has finished all his beer here.
I'm still working on yeah.
We got a flight in front of us here. George, you had some different ones. What jumped out at you?
Yeah, the BFF Mango, that's the new one. Decent. Yeah, that Moraine West Coast IPA. I mean, that's a standard I get every time I come here. But.
So the BFF Mango was made for our Dog Days of Summer, which we just had last weekend, and that's our SPCA's fundraiser that we do every year.
Yeah.
So this was year 7, and we raised between $2,000 and $4,000.
Oh, wow.
With pet picks, the $2 for every 4-pack goes to the SPCA, and then we do these commemorative shirts, which are pretty cool too. Yeah. So it's nice. We did that the very first, the day we opened, which was middle of July. We said let's give $1 to every pint from every pint to the SPCA. So the day we open, and we've always done that. We've always made sure that we give back to the community as much as
Dog-friendly
possible.
patio too, which is huge. It's like we bring the dog here and he just barks at everyone for a little bit, and then that's it's an amazing little patio here. So that's it. I like that one.
And then the Moraine West Coast recently won silver for the Canadian
Is
Beer
that right?
Awards. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
So the Moraine, the Parkway Porters won awards. The Folding Mountain Lager is won. Yeah. So
Gold medal for the Folding Mountain.
Yeah.
Silver medal
that
for
right?
Parkway Porter. Yeah.
Parkway Porter is probably my favorite, but I do like the dark beers. I was on the drive out here. I was telling George about the German Reinheitsgebot. You know what that was?
No.
Oh, okay. So because he was saying, I'm going to get the mango beer, and I'm like, I can't do it. I'm a German. I was born and raised in Germany. So in 1516, because Germans make laws about everything, so they made a law. It's a purity law that you could only brew beer with water, barley, yeast, and hops. Those 4 ingredients. Anything else was actually illegal, and your beer would be confiscated and you wouldn't be compensated for it. So for hundreds of years, Germans have been experimenting with those 4 ingredients, which is crazy because they make a lot of different beers, the way you roast the barley and that sort of thing. So I'm kind of stuck with it. Every now and then I'll take a Belgian Moon. I'll feel a little bit guilty, like just don't let my German kin know about this. But I'm still very much stuck to the 4 ingredients. But,
Well, it's very fair, and I mean what they have now for different yeast strains and the malts and the hops, and you can get so many different flavor profiles using those 4 ingredients. I mean, the water we use comes straight from the mountains. It's UV'd and then into the tanks, and it comes in at 1 degree. Like it's so pure and full of iron, so it's really good for ales. And then our malt we have a 2-row blend that's made specifically for us, and it's all from central Alberta. But there's so many different things you can do just using those 4 ingredients.
Yeah. Well, and we were talking briefly about yeast. A lot of people don't know the difference between a lager and an ale. You want to teach them?
You could probably teach better than I could, to be honest. It's just the way it's fermented. Yeah. But basically, it sits in the tank a little bit longer. It comes out a little bit more crisp lager. But there's, at the end of the day, there's not a lot to it. It's just more how it's fermented, how it sits in the tanks.
Yeah, it's interesting because almost everything you buy, sort of your lawnmower beers or your lagers, that, like you said, they're crisp, they're cold. They're a cold yeast, whereas the warm yeast is the ale. It gives you more of that heavier flavor to the beer, which you find in places like Britain. They love their ales, right? And drink them room temperature and that sort of thing.
Your brewmaster, Dave Ozell, he was like an instructor at Olds Brewery, or the Olds College.
Yeah.
How'd you get him?
You know what, so I knew Dave from when he was the brewmaster at Jasper Brewing.
Okay.
So he started there.
Yeah.
And then when Eric and I decided to open up the brewery, we I reached out to him and I said, okay, well, we got this, I got a quote from 3 different companies on our brew house.
Yeah.
And it was, it was basically Greek to me. I'm like, I don't know what this means. And, they varied so much in price. So I'm like, do I need this? Do I need that? So I reached out to Dave and I said, hey, Dave, can you have a look at these quotes? And he's a gem. So he's like, yeah, I definitely can. And then Eric and I were like, well, let's just go down and see Dave down to Olds College, and we'll have a chat with him, and he can kind of show us, his production, what he's doing. So we went down there and we had a conversation with Dave, and honestly, there was no intention to hire Dave. We weren't even thinking about it at the time. We just went down to have a conversation with him about what we were doing. So once we finally agreed that, okay, we are doing this, I reached out to Dave and I said, Dave, do you have anybody at Olds College that any new grads that are coming up that you would recommend? And Dave said, you know what, I might be interested. Yeah. And that's and then things kind of spiraled. And his wife, Lila, I believe she's 3rd generation from Jasper. So she's actually from Jasper. She's related to the Deagles. I know you had Mark on your. And then, so it kind of all worked out. They were looking to make a move, come back to the area, so it all worked out. And now Dave's been with us since day 1, so it was really the 3 of us. He was our first hire, and amazing guy, because not only is he a very talented brewer, he's also kind of a jack of all. So he can help solve, cooler issues, boiler issues, anything around the brewery. He's great. And then he, within the past year, maybe it's 2 years now, he's now super involved with the Hidden Search and Rescue. Yeah. And I believe he's
Dave was talking about him doing flying the drones.
He's big in the drone technology stuff.
He's vice president now, if I'm not mistaken. So I tried to get him here tonight. Actually, it would have been nice to have him on the podcast, but he had other commitments with the Hidden Search and Rescue. And so we're very fortunate to have a guy like that here. And I believe we were talking earlier, Scott, about how he's very true to some of the traditional brewing methods.
Sure.
So I mean, that's why, and I believe that's why our lager is so strong, as strong as it is, because our European, our Folding Mountain lager is just such a solid beer.
Yeah.
And it's basically flawless.
Kind of a classic. So on that, I know it's a painful question. If you guys could only drink one style of beer for the rest of your life, what are you choosing?
Oh, geez.
I would normally say lager, but lately I've been drinking a lot of pale ales.
Okay.
I think lager though. I think I'm a big patio guy, like sitting out in the sun.
Hot summer day, cracking a crisp cold one. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, I'd be Folding Mountain Lager. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I mean, I love our IPAs. I just think after a while, just with it's just that type of beer. Yeah. Whereas the Folding Mountain Lager, you can crush a few of those.
Yeah, it goes down
it's a little
good.
Smooth. Yeah.
And what's your go-to?
Man, that's a painful question. I shouldn't have asked it. I like Pilsners, which is a type of lager, right? It's crisp, but it has a little more bittering hops. I guess probably because I grew up with that in Germany. We just drink Pilsners a lot. But I do like the honey browns, the nut browns. There's something about that full malty flavor, or the porters, that I really like. So, I gotta pick one. You know what? I'm going to regret this, but I'm going brown ale.
You're committed now.
I got to say, brown ale or a porter, even dark beers, the nice thing about those, it can be minus 30 or plus 30.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they're super enjoyable.
Yeah, steak in a bottle, right?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah, so good choice. Good choice.
How do you guys pick your seasonals?
Yeah.
Or is that Dave just like, okay, here's what we're doing?
No, we meet quite often actually, but typically once a year we'll really sit down and we'll hash out our seasonals for the year. Okay. A lot of the, like the mango BFF, a couple of the fruited ales that we do, that's more, a lot of it's based on availability. Yeah. Just because fruit has gone up so much, like especially the purees is very expensive. But we know, like in the fall, chances are we're going to do something a little bit roastier, a little darker. We do our J-Sick chocolate stout every year. That we've done that since day one.
Oh yeah, that's good.
The Hidden Search and Rescue beer we're always going to do. So there's a lot of beers that we kind of do typically, and then we fill what we can. It's our summer. By the time you hit So these guys start brewing big time, like February, March, just to get ready for the summer and load up the cooler.
Yeah.
You're kind of you're just like, you're in cruise control. You're just like, okay, we just got to brew what we have and make sure our core beers are stocked up. The Summer Collective is always going to be a seasonal. That's our anniversary beer.
Yeah.
So that one will always change. And then the BFF in the summer, and then we go from there.
Yeah, that is cool. With the Summer Collective, I mean, you got Dallas Rose and then like her artwork
paintings
throughout the brewery.
We've been very, again, I don't want to sound like a broken record, but we've been so fortunate about the people that surround us.
Yeah.
Dallas has been doing this since day one. So she does the labels for us every year on that Summer Collective beer. She hangs her paintings. They're absolutely gorgeous.
She was like painting live during you guys' birthday this year. And
Yeah, so this was our most successful Summer Collective.
Yeah.
We had the most vendors. I believe you were there.
Yeah. Set up Brewski Blazers.
Sound Brewskis, yeah. And it was a really good summer. It was a great year. So yeah, we're very lucky. Even Sarah comes out and DJs for us almost every Summer Collective as well. We're really lucky to have the people that support us that we do. Because without that, you don't have anything. So
Yeah.
What's the plan for Folding Mountain now? Like, is there anything in the future you got, like events planned?
Yeah, what's the vision?
Yeah.
Well, we're always thinking, obviously.
Yeah.
We're always trying to move the needle a little bit. Expansion always comes to mind. Is there another location that we could open? It is. The restaurant and the brewery industry is very tough. It is hard. There's long days and long nights.
Oh yeah.
And so it's sometimes you want to make sure you want to bite off more than you can chew, because what we have here right now is working.
Yeah.
So do you spread yourself too thin? So you got to look at stuff like that.
Yeah.
There's, as far as events go, obviously the Folding Mountain Ultra is going to be a big one for myself, which will kind of spill into this area as it is. I honestly think growing this whole area, like the Jasper East, Folding Mountain area, is going to be what the next step is. Because I think there's still lots of opportunity here. And we, working with Yellow County, they're really good to work with. We have all the land. It just makes sense to kind of keep everything in this area. So,
and you guys have your beer on tap in quite a few places. I've been across the province and been pleasantly surprised, and in different liquor stores. Is it all across Alberta now, or what's been the spread? Is it outside the province yet, or what's the vision there?
Yeah, so we're fully in Alberta, of course, and then a little bit into Saskatchewan, and then into the territories as well.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
BC is obviously a different, that's a whole different obstacle, just the way that their liquor laws apply to us. And then being on tap, so in Jasper, Hinton, Edson, huge. We have a lot of places like that. A lot of places in Jasper and Hinton have us on tap. And again, they've just been really, really good for us for support. It's nice because Jasper still considers us almost a local brewery.
Yeah.
And so they'll have us and they'll have Jasper Brewing on tap as well.
Yeah.
So
cool.
This is our destination spot, and the kid loves it too. Like, we have Casey's 4. Every time we come out here, straight to the games. It's like, okay, we're playing Jenga tonight, and then
well, it almost feels like the nice thing about here, and when we built this place, we did our business plan, and we had an idea that it was going to be successful and we were going to be busy, but you're still kind of out in the middle of nowhere.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But from Edmonton, you're 3 hours. So you leave at 9, you get here for lunch. It seems to be kind of the perfect destination.
Oh, yeah.
And then if you're a local, like from Hinton, it almost feels like you're on holidays when you come out here. It's a little bit of a vacation.
Yeah. We come back from the ski hill or the hot springs. We've so often we've gone rock climbing and come here. And for folks who've never been here, right now we're sitting basically outside in the setting sun. We've got a mountain right in front of us. We got surrounded by forest, kind of a log cabin motif. It's just gorgeous. Definitely the place to be.
Destination in Hinton. Yeah.
Luckily, my wife, who's an interior designer, she's the one that designed this whole place.
Oh wow! Yeah.
So
great job.
We always joke because if it was Eric and I, it'd be just a big Quonset with picnic tables and a TV.
It's a big military tent. Yeah. I do like the antlers on the wall and kind of the mountain lodge theme. I think that's perfect for the setting.
Yeah. No, we got really lucky to have the people that we do. They make this place what it is. It's not us. It's everybody that's around us.
And great beer. I mean, that's you can't have a brewery successful unless you got good beer. And you guys have done it. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna do the ultra this year or in this June. It's happening.
It's happening now.
I'll try to do some. I don't know how we'll incorporate with the podcast, but I'll try to do some kind of training. I'm gonna have to reach out to you, Jason, and get a few training tips and stuff too. But
I'll run after you guys with microphones and interview you for like a kilometer.
Yeah.
If you do decide to do the ultra run,
I don't decide. I've decided.
Then just any kind of advice you need, just let me know.
Yeah.
There's so many run coaches out there.
Yeah.
And they're really good at what they do.
Do you have a mentor to get started, or like where you just find someone online, or?
A little bit of both.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was really lucky again. I knew some people that are in the industry that were able to kind of guide me along. But there's so many different resources out there that can help you. Yeah. The biggest thing with any type of long run, whether it's a marathon or half marathon or ultra, is consistency. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's really easy to find excuses. Really easy to find excuses. But I'm up at 4 every day. I'm getting my runs in, and then I'm getting ready and going to work, and then working all day, and then getting home, and usually doing something about running. So I do obsess, but that's me.
What is your motivation then? In the end, is it like I can't wait to finish this race, or is like the whole process?
It's a journey.
Yeah,
100% it's a journey. I love it, and like I said, the community, the people around it are so cool.
Yeah,
everybody's super excited. They want to see you finish. They want to see you do well.
Yeah.
They'll support you anyway. It's I'm really excited for you to see like what happens here.
I'm excited too.
The transformation
or September 2nd to
my hiking in the past few years is like we're starting to like climb some mountains and stuff now, and like the wife's into it, and it's slowly changing from like, okay, I'm gonna carry 3 beers up the mountain with me and have a sip up there, to now it's like, hey, let's take some waters with us, and like let's get a good backpack and some good shoes, and getting into it. So when I was reading about it last night, I was talking to the wife about it. I'm like, I'm gonna do it. Let's just commit to it, make it happen, and then be ready to go. So
perfect.
At Folding Mountain Ultra, follow along with that. Jason, you can follow him on Instagram too, jason.gf.fmb. Foldingmountain.com, the website at Folding Mountain Brewing, Instagram. Anything else we need to add to this episode, Scott? Anything you missed?
No, this was a fun podcast. Like, you can't beat it. Good beer, good company.
Yeah,
I'm a happy
Sitting
man.
on the patio at Folding Mountain.
Yeah, I appreciate it, you guys. Thank you so much for having me on this. This was amazing.
Oh, I love it. Thanks so much, Jason.
To chat with you.
If you want to get a hold of us, wildernesswave@outlook.com. I'm working on a website too, so the website's going to be dropping soon.
Right on.
I'm hoping within the next week here, and we'll have we got a few things coming up. The beer koozies will be one thing, or water bottle koozies, whatever you're ultra marathoning. Okay. Well, until next week, stay wild.
Wilderness Wavelength.